Hello and good morning. It is early here while I'm recording this video, so you may or may not be watching this in the morning or the afternoon, but good morning, good day to you. And in today's tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how to make a 3D model of a cup. And I'm going to use my coffee mug here as just sort of a general shape. I'm just going to base my model roughly on this. So just take a look at the side view of this cup. If you have another cup handy, or you can Google, get an image of a cup, this side view here. What we want to look at is this outside profile shape. All right, this is the line that I want you to have in mind as we go about this little project. So set my cup out of the way and go over here to Fusion 360, and I'm going to shrink myself down here in the corner. So as usual, I have a new design open and I'm going to create a sketch. And in some of my other videos I talk about how I like to sketch on the top plane most typically, but for today's design for my cup, I'm going to sketch on the front plane. All right. And now, here from my origin, I'm going to try to imagine that I have the bottom of my cup sitting right here at my origin. And I need more coffee in that cup. My brain is only partially functional. All right, so I'm going to go up here and grab my line sketching tool. I'm going to start right here on my origin and just bring out a horizontal line. All right, and then I'm going to press escape because I just want this one horizontal line here. All right, and it doesn't matter for right now how big it is. I'm just going to sketch it. We'll put the sizes in later. Then I'm going to go up here and I want to draw some curved lines. So let's look at what our options are. We could do a 3-point arc. So we have to select a start and an end point, and then a point that's on the arc, and the center arc. So we have to select the center first and select 2 points, and we create an arc with tangency. Let's try the tangent arc. Let's see how this works out. So I'm going to go down here and select the end of my line, and then what I want, you can kind of see how my arc is changing shape here. All right, so I want my other point to be up here, so I'm just going to click, place it, and then I'm going to hit escape. So I no longer have that tool selected. And I'm going to grab this little point that showed up. And that should be the center point of my arc. Okay, that's not really giving me what I want to do, is I want to change it so it bends the other direction. All right, so I'm going to hit Control Z a couple times till that goes away. That was a little experimental. Wasn't sure if that was the one I really wanted. Let's try something else here. We'll go into arc and let's do 3-point arc. So I'll say there's 1 point, and then the other point is going to be here, and then the point that's on my arc is here. There we go. So now I have this nice 3-point arc, and that represents sort of this curved shape here in the bottom of my cup, right? So if you can see, that curves out, and then it's going to curve back. Okay, so now I'm going to play around with this a little bit and just bring this guy so it has a little bit of curve out, like that. Okay, and let's see, now let's do another 3-point arc, and we'll start here, and then we'll go up here somewhere. I'll just say there, and then we'll put a little bit of curve like that. Okay, so there's that arc there. All right, so there's roughly the outside profile of my cup. Okay, I'm going to hit escape. And now we can bend some things around, move some. You can see I can change how this looks. I can make my cup shaped like that. Right, I could bring this down. I'm going to bring it so it's pretty soft here at the beginning. But I'm going to bring this over, and let's see, I think I want to bring this guy in, but you know, I want this point and this point to stay right above each other. So I'm going to go ahead and make those vertical, those 2 points, so they stay vertically aligned. Escape to get rid of that tool, and then I can drag this over. All right, and now I can see, aha, that's getting the shape that I want. And I want to make kind of a normal-ish sized cup, so I'm going to grab my caliper really quickly. Sorry about the noise. I'm just going to do a quick measurement on my cup here. So the cup I'm basing this off of is about 2.5 inches wide at the bottom. Okay, so I'm only sketching half of it, and I'll show you why here momentarily. So I'm going to say dimension tool. I press D on the keyboard, and I'm going to tell this guy, oops, no, hit escape and undo. I don't want that dimension. Press D on the keyboard again, click that. There we go. That's the dimension I want. Measure along here. All right, and I'm going to say 2.5 divided by 2. Just let the computer do the math for me. It's too early in the morning to divide decimals in my head. So there's my 2.5 inch base. And then I'm going to have this guy come, I don't know, if I come down here and say that that point is going to go out maybe another 1/4 of an inch before we start. Let's try that. Let's just say 0.25 before it starts to curve back the other direction. All right, and then how tall should my cup be? Well, I'll take a measuring tool here and just get an idea. I'm basing this off of, this is about 4 inches tall. So what I'll do is I'll say from the bottom of my cup, my point here to my point here, go out here, tell that to be 4 inches tall. So now I have a 4-inch tall cup. All right, hit escape to get rid of my dimension tool. And I want to have a little more curve here. So you see I can move this line. All right, and I can maybe kind of get that shape just to look how I want it to be. All right. And so these 2 points are vertical, and we know where those things are. All right. So now, I think, let's see, I feel like that looks a little too narrow to me, so I need to take this out a little more. Can I move this? No, that's not what I want to do. Can I move this point over? Let's see. Move over. Well, I can't because it's fixed off of here now. So what I want to do, I can change that. I see up and down, curve out like that. Okay, let's go with it for now and just leave it how it is. And we need another line. So what we're going to do is draw a line from here, just arbitrarily tall, escape. And I'm going to click on this line and push X. That's going to turn that into a construction line for me. So I'm just going to use that as a rotation point. All right. So now I want to give my cup some thickness. So let's go to my offset tool. There it is, offset. I'm going to select that line, and it automatically selected that one, and I'm going to offset to the inside, and I'm going to say -0.1. So I'm 100 thousandths thick. My cup, you know, we could make it an 1/8 inch thick. Why not? Let's do that. Say OK. And I have these lines here. All right, so let me go over here. I'm just going to say show dimensions. Turn that off for a minute so those dimensions aren't cluttering my view. And I'm going to say show constraints off. And there we go. Now I don't have constraints turned on. And so here I'm going to just put another curved lip on here. So I'm going to say create an arc. I'm going to say 3-point arc. Start there, end there, and have this be the curve right there. And so there's a nice rounded shape to it. Okay. Then zoom out. Let's go look at the bottom here. And I'm going to want to do a line just connect here and here so I have a nice closed profile. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and say finish the sketch. So get out of sketch. And then up here on my toolbar, you'll see this option to revolve something. So I'm going to click on revolve and deselect all my profiles just so I can go from scratch. So check here, if it says profile 1 selected, hit the X, get rid of whatever you might have had selected, and then come over and click inside of this profile to make sure we have selected the thing we want. And for axis, let's click our construction line and angle 360 degree. Good. I'll just say a full circle, right? And we're going to create a new body, okay? And so here is my cup. Say okay. All right, so here's my cup so far. It has a little curve down here and a little curve out there, but you know, it looks a little bit too narrow at the top for my liking. So I'm not really happy with how this is here. So I'm going to go down here on my timeline and double click here. And I want to move this guy. Looks like I can move it up and down, but I'm a little bit constrained to how I move out here. So let me turn my dimensions back on. All right, and I see that I have this is a 1/4 inch, so I'm going to make that 0.4 inches and just step that out a little bit more. And then let's turn on my constraints, and I'm going to click on this vertical constraint right here, and I'm going to say delete. Press delete on the keyboard. Now my cup is no longer constrained to keeping these 2 points right above one another, so I can make it a lot wider. All right, so I'm going to say finish sketch again, and now you see I have a slightly different shape to my cup. All right. Okay, so I forgot a thing. I'm going to go over here to sketches. I'm going to call this profile. I like to start with capital letters. Profile. Okay. And let's go back in, and I'm looking at the back side. I'm going to flip this around so I'm looking at the front side again. And I'm just going to continue to sort of adjust. All right, and I'm always going to adjust this outside line. There we go. I kind of like that. I'm going to adjust this line, not this line. All right, so the one out here, the outer line, is the one I'm drawing. And this one inside is the offset line. This will always match whatever I change this, okay? So change this outside line. And press finish sketch again, and now you can see the updated shape of my cup. Okay, so you can go ahead and play around with that and make, just kind of keep going back to your sketch and make little changes and see what it looks like, and adjust it and tweak it until you get the cup design that you like. And then when you're ready, I'll have another video to show you how to put a handle on, and then we'll talk about how we're going to 3D print our cup. Okay, so I'm going to keep mine just like this, and one more thing I'm going to do before we get out of here is I'm going to save this as cup demo. Alright, it's going in GSCAD. I'll hit save. Alright, and so now my cup is saved, and I'm going to be ready for the handle, which we'll do in the next video.